Hey, podcast fans, by the end of this episode, you'll have 3 new podcasts to add to your rotation. Make sure you subscribe to keep these podcast recommendations coming. Welcome to What the Pod. I go by the name of DJ Tracy, your favorite pod mother and the undisputed queen of podcast recommendations. What the Pod is a podcast that recommends new shows for you to listen to. What's going on to everyone who's listening to me on Jam? Thank you so much for joining me today. Let's jump right into today's show. This week, I am running down the Apple Podcast Top Comedy Podcast from number 1 all the way through the bottom. Let's start with number 1. Smartless is a podcast that unites people from all walks of life to learn about shared experiences through thoughtful dialogue and organic hilarity. The episode that I'm checking out, President Joe Biden actually popped in. Check out the Smartless podcast today. Coming in at number 2 on the Apple Podcast comedy charts, Morbid. On the comedy chart? The description says verbatim, "It's a lighthearted nightmare in here, weirdos." Morbid is a true crime, creepy history, and all things spooky podcast, hosted by an autopsy technician and a hairstylist. Check out the Morbid podcast today. Elyse Myers went viral on TikTok by telling a story about how she got stuck with buying 100 tacos on a first date. That fame has led her to the number 3 top spot on the comedy podcast charts. Check out the Funny Cause It's True with Elyse Myers podcast today. Thank you so much for listening to What the Pod. If you liked any of my podcast picks, then share my show with your friends. As always, click the link in the show notes to follow me on Spotify and listen along to these podcasts with me. Let me know your favorites on TikTok. Follow me at DJ Tracy Treece. That's DJ TRICEY. If you love me and you love my show, then give me 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. I'll be right back with you tomorrow where I'll have 3 new shows for you to listen to. Hey you, thanks so much for listening to What the Pod. This podcast continues to grow because of people like you. If you like backstage access and longer podcast and chill episodes, then join the What the Pod fan club on Apple Podcasts. Membership is only $2.99 a month and 100% of the funds go right back into producing more content like this. I know you're a fan, so join the club exclusively on Apple Podcasts.